Talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
A late night shocker. The police chief of the city of Minneapolis steps down under a cloud of questions. It's Drive Time. It's Jason. We've been covering this breaking news since it happened last night. The police chief of Minneapolis, Brian O'Hara, leaving his position while he was under investigation. The mayor meeting with him, confronting him with evidence that Brian O'Hara tried to interfere with an investigation into him. An immense betrayal of trust in the man tasked with keeping our city safe. But the biggest thing I think that Brian O'Hara has gotten credit for is the work that's been going on over the last 5 or 6 years to restore trust in our police department. And I think we've seen incredible evidence of success, not as far as it needs to go, but just looking at what happened during Operation Metro Surge, the immigration, federal surge into our communities, the fact that local police largely were not the subject of protest by local residents. There was sort of a respect of like, our local police would never act this way. To me, it was a moment of progress. And then to hear that the police chief under investigation, and we have heard these rumors. It is hard when you're a police chief because, man, your officers are out to get you. Political critics are out to get you. So it's hard to know when you hear rumors, all right, is this real or is this not? When you see complaints filed, is this real, is it not? But man, to think the chief would get in there and try to meddle with the investigation is so disappointing and so upsetting. And the president of the Minneapolis City Council, Elliott Payne, is with us in studio. President Payne, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Your reaction, did you know this was coming or did you find out on TV like everybody else?
I got a brief heads up from the mayor with a phone call before the press conference happened, but I discovered it in near real time with the rest of the community. And I think disappointment is the right way to phrase it.
You had heard some of the rumors that have been out there.
There had been rumors swirling around the chief and his conduct. I could never find out what was going on. All I heard were rumors, and oftentimes it's reporters calling me trying to confirm these rumors, and I never had firsthand knowledge of it. And so I'm actually not surprised that he resigned after this discovery. I'm surprised that the mayor nominated him, knowing that he was investigating interference into that investigation.
So let's start with, and I'm surprised too. I'm surprised with that as well. And I've been reaching out to some employment lawyers trying to figure out like, all right, was he in a bit of a pickle where if you've got somebody under investigation, you don't have the results of the investigation. If you don't nominate him again after praising him and all of these, do you open up the city to legal action? That is the most positive version of this that I can come up with. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, there are real reasons to maintain confidentiality into these types of investigations. You don't want to open the city up to litigation, but you also want to make sure you're protecting the witnesses. You want to make sure you're not jumping to judgment without due process.
Maybe he didn't do it.
You have to leave room for that. That's why you have thorough investigations. I think my big critique right now is apparently the mayor knew about this as far back as May, opened up an investigation, closed that investigation, all of that without disclosing any of those facts to city council. The only thing close to that was me trying to raise this issue as we were coming up to a nomination saying, hey, there's a lot of these rumors swirling around. Are you looking into this? Is this something that you're going to weigh as you think about his nomination? And all he could share was, we've looked into it and we found nothing. But that did not tell me that there was an independent investigation, that there was a report. It's a huge lack of transparency coming out of the mayor's office. And I think it's regrettable because that transparency is how we build trust. And it's how we get to those outcomes that we all share. We want a police department that is accountable to the community, that we can trust, that keeps us safe. This undermines all of that. And it's really, really saddening.
Elliott Payne is the president of the Minneapolis City Council. So, in a functional city council mayor relationship, I would expect the mayor to bring you guys in and say, like, hey, there are, as the Star Tribune reported, on May 27th, so about a month ago, there are 30 some open investigations into the chief. I think even the mayor doesn't know what the info is or what the allegation is with those investigations, although perhaps he knew about some of them, but I don't know. Like, this is a confidential process, which maybe it shouldn't be. If you're going to have a strong mayor in charge of a police department, shouldn't somebody know? Like, hey, this is BS probably. This is a crabby, New Hope resident filing a complaint. Here are a couple police complaints, which maybe are something, maybe are not. I don't know. You could have a dashboard. Here's a red risk. Here's a yellow. Here's sort of seems like a nothing, right? Couldn't there be some way to bring in, what about Todd Barnett? What about, do any of these people know what's going on here?
Well, and that was the main concern. I mean, this is why we were skeptical of Commissioner Barnett's nomination, is because this was an unresolved series of rumors that were just swirling around the chief. And we had no visibility into that, no visibility into the veracity of the claims or even what the allegations were. Because again, you hear it from all these angles, whether it's community or reporters, but without any firm claims on it, we are trusting the mayor and the commissioner to provide that oversight.
Do they know?
They know something, it appears, because obviously going back to May, they at least confronted the chief to let him know that there was going to be an investigation, right? So even knowing that investigation happened would have been really helpful for us as city council as we were going into a confirmation vote a week from today.
I mean, my understanding was this actually goes back to December, that there was an initial contact in December, and then it all was put on hold because of the immigration surge. So that's a long time for something to be going.
Right. Yeah.
Why? All right. So first of all, I can understand, and I set this up by saying in a functional relationship, you would expect more disclosure. I do think the mayor perceives, and I don't know that he's wrong. I don't know that you are the primary person that takes every scenario, no matter what happens, and it becomes a time to turn the mayor into a piñata. I do think there are some city council members, my perception, not putting words into his mouth, but I think there is a perception that, look, there are a number of people on the council that do not like this mayor, disagree with him politically, don't like him personally. If he shares this information, I don't know that there's trust between the council and the mayor, which I blame all of you guys, but I don't know that there's trust to share that information.
Well, we have to set these personal differences aside. I am the president of the city council. He is the mayor of the city. We have a role and a responsibility and a duty to our community to honor these roles. And we, especially in the first 2 years of my time in office, almost every 2 weeks, we were having a closed session on another litigation matter associated with police conduct. We held all of that information confidential throughout. We are always in the loop on this type of confidential information, and we need to be trusted to hold that information confidentially because we do know what the consequences are. And so that was a political choice that the mayor made to keep us in the dark. There is a real good reason to keep this information confidential, but this was a deliberate choice to keep it confidential. And I think it was it harmed our community because we could have been able to offer him more guidance on how he should be moving forward with that nomination had we had more insight into it.
I agree. I mean, I think the harm here is tremendous. And I also worry, who the hell wants this job? What kind of candidates are you going to? Now, if you get somebody internally who wants this job, I think wow, that's a commitment to our community. But it does make me nervous where I think you have obviously a difficult task ahead as you continue to enforce the agreement made with the state. You have a difficult task in some city council members who are maybe more skeptical as to what sort of funding should be going with police. You have an out of control overtime issue in a city where funding for everything is an issue. I mean, I don't want this job. Do you worry about the caliber of candidates we're going to get?
Well, this is what's so disappointing about this. That was the question that was raised when Chief O'Hara was appointed. And we just recognized the 6-year anniversary of the murder of George Floyd. That is a world historical moment, not a Minneapolis only historical moment. This is a place where we are supposed to be able to define what the future of public safety is, what the future of constitutional policing is. And it's actually one of the most desirable jobs in the nation. And that's what attracted O'Hara to Minneapolis in the first place. I would expect that of our next candidate as well. We need to work collaboratively with the mayor to make sure we're doing our due diligence on those candidates, whether they're external or internal.
What are you going to do to bridge that gap?
I do my proactive outreach to the mayor. I sent him a letter today saying, hey, bring us into this process, share the results of those previous investigations. We need to be at the table, explain your rationale, why you didn't share this with us, and do it. Let's work in good faith together to put the safety of our city ahead of our own personal differences. It's so important to the future of our city.
Was it a mistake to nominate Chief O'Hara, again, former Chief O'Hara, knowing that, just knowing the mere fact that an investigation was out?
Well, hindsight is 2020, and part of hindsight is having access to information. If I had the access to the information that the mayor had, I would not have brought that name forward for a nomination.
Do you know what the accusation was?
I don't actually know what the underlying accusation is of the original report that was released, or well, at least handed over to the mayor back in the summer of 2025. I don't know what the actual allegations are.
I've seen some reports or the investigation, some files sort of flying around that certainly made non-judicious use of a Sharpie, all the redactions. Do you believe that the public and you, the council, should have access to all of these investigative files now that he's no longer the chief?
I think to whatever extent that the law provides, the public should have some transparency into that. Absolutely.
Yeah, just hearing the accusation was about a sexual relationship with a city employee. Well, is it a police department employee? Is it a public works employee? Like, what are we talking about? We don't know.
I don't know either. And I'm the president of the city council. You would think I'd have some unique access to this type of information, but this is what's so worrying and troubling about this. And certainly the underlying allegations are very concerning, but I'm approaching this from a governance perspective. How are you governing the city as a body? That body includes the mayor and all council members. When he operates independently, this is the result of that. When you don't have those diverse perspectives that city council brings, those connections to community that city council brings, that's how you end up with these blind spots where you bring forward the nomination when there's all of this troubling background behind it. I think somebody with good judgment would not have done that. And I think that making these decisions collaboratively is what leads to strong judgment.
Does the mayor, as we talk with Elliott Payne, the president of the Minneapolis City Council, does the mayor deserve credit for acting quickly, for the language in the reprimand letter, for that moment where it was sort of appeared like it was going to be a you resign or you're fired scenario?
It should not have come to this moment in the first place. I don't think he should have been nominated in the first place. I think that at minimum, he should have waited until the investigation into the investigation interference was closed with some determination and then brought that nomination forward. But to bring the nomination forward before the investigation was complete, knowing back in December that there was a whistleblower raising these concerns, that's remarkably irresponsible to me.
Would you have fired him earlier?
I think that if I had the authority to do that and I had access to the information, these do feel like violations that would rise to that occasion. But again, I don't have the full information.
A little bit, like not being at the end of the investigation. Now it appears that he got to the end of the investigation and took action yesterday.
Yeah, and he could have waited until yesterday to make a decision about nominating him.
I think that's fair. Elliott Payne, before you go, the interim police chief. And we don't know how long Katie Blackwell is going to have that job. It sounds like they're looking for somebody else to really be the interim. Do you have any information on whether it's going to be Blackwell, whether it's going to be someone else, and how you feel about Katie Blackwell?
Blackwell is really respected, I believe, and I think will be a good leader in this transition. I think that we need to have a comprehensive view of the role and what we want out of the next chief before we jump to the conclusion about who that permanent chief should be. But I do feel confidence in AC Blackwell in taking on this really challenging appointment in this moment.
Elliott Payne, we appreciate you coming in and answering questions, and there'll be we all have a million of them for sure going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
323. Text in. Lots of people texting with your reaction. I want to know how you feel about this. Should the mayor have brought in the council earlier? Is there a way to share sort of a risk scenario? I know investigations are protected under law. There are challenges with releasing information about accusations while things are still being investigated. But come on, there's got to be a better way to do this than what we have seen play out. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Sun is out. It is so hot. It is so hot, and no doubt you're enjoying some of that early summertime weather. It's Jason here with I don't want to rain on the situation, but I do want you to take care of yourself. Tareen Dermatology is my dermatologist. TAREEN dermatology.com is where you can go right now to request an appointment because your skin is so important. It is so important. And so many of us neglect it. We don't get that full body skin checkup. We let that sort of mark or mole grow or change in color and think like, it'll work itself out. I have a family history of skin cancer. I do not mess around with my skin. Either does my wife. She has the same situation. We both see Dr. Mohiba Tareen. Put on that sunscreen, put on that hat, and go visit my dermatologist. Trust the experts, Tareen Dermatology. They have more than 10, 11 locations. I know there are more coming online this summer as well. Western Wisconsin. You don't have to wait 3 months to see a dermatologist. You can get in at Tareen Dermatology in under 3 weeks. You can go to Hudson. Metro area, you got Lakeville, you've got Eagan. I go to Roseville. Find all the locations at TareenDermatology.com.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
I'm here with Alex Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Digman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
I'm Kiara Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Drive Time with DeRusha
Look, I'm more aligned with the old people. Okay, I am.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I can't move on, baby doll. Waiting on
Lots of texts coming in at 651-461-9226. The Star Tribune just came out with a story interviewing the mayor, and the mayor defends his handling of the investigation. Look, I think Elliott Payne is wrong when he says that he would have fired the chief. You can't just fire someone on an allegation. And look, police departments are very political places. And you see this with the assistant chief, Katie Blackwell, who we'll talk about next hour. But Katie Blackwell testified in the trial against Derek Chauvin, and more than a dozen Minneapolis police officers signed an affidavit saying that they believe she perjured herself during that trial because she said what Chauvin did was nothing that was trained on. This was not part of the training. It was an improvised move. Very often cops are in a fight with their boss. I think sometimes on the outside you think like, oh, everybody's like, it's the police. They're all on the same. No, not always. It's like any other workplace. Everybody hates the boss. It's pretty common. And so, no, to me, it is unreasonable to say like, oh, the mayor should have fired him earlier. I do think it's reasonable, though, to say, why'd you nominate him? Why'd you not wait until we were done with this? You could have waited. Now, the heat was starting to be on. The mayor was getting asked a lot. Why haven't you nominated? Why haven't you nominated? And look, once you say like, oh, it's because there are accusations against him. Well, now the chief is screwed. So I don't know. It's a mess, though. And I do feel like it sets us back when we're talking about safety. We'll talk more about this. You'll get your chance. 4:30. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it again at 5. But I want to talk about other things. It's hot. Ooh, boy, is it hot. Dan, you're supposed it.
Give me the line again.
It is hot. Whoo, boy, is it hot.
How hot is it?
Dan, it's so hot. I mowed the lawn today without my shirt on. We'll see if Tracy Perlman finds that acceptable or repugnant. You can weigh in on that as well. Topless lawn mowing, 651-461-9226. Drive Time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Now, my friends at J.H. & Sons, they are very pro tops. You know, they want you to be wearing a shirt. They want you to be wearing a great shirt from them. And I just bought about 3 new button-up linen shirts for the team at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason here for the Galleria, the Galleria's finest men's clothing store, J.H. & Sons. I love what Jeff Halberstadt has done with this store. I love the fact that here's a guy who he could be retired sitting on the beach. And instead, he's opening J.H. & Sons stores all over the Midwest because he believes that old school service, along with cutting edge fashion, fabric design, that there's a place for those two things to come together. And that place is J.H. & Sons. Now, if you have a wedding on your calendar coming up this fall, or even this summer, get to J.H. & Sons. The suits are, I think of them as investment pieces because they're going to last the test of time. When Sam graduated high school, we got him a suit at J.H. & Sons, and he just packed that in his suitcase to go off to the Philippines, where he has a job and an internship coming up. JH and Sons. Sign up for their email list. You'll be the first to know about special events in the store. jhandsons.com.
In a world where the dial is predictable.
And now, more of the same.
Coming up, something mildly interesting.
One station refused to be dull.
Breaking news here this morning.
They brought opinions.
No civilized society bans books.
Who are we?
They brought energy.
How about they just plow the damn street
to continue slap in the face?
They brought Minnesota.
Is it a witch hunt? I guess, but you appear to be a witch.
Back to life. This spring, boring gets taken down. Curiosity fights back. And your commute will never be the same. News Talk 830 WCCO. The battle against boring starts now.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or
Hello.
if you are allergic to pork.
How are you?
Problems or worse,
Just super yourself.
Joints.
Oh.
Tell your doctor if you have any unusual severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor with food. Do not chew capsules.
Mine too.
Irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar.
We didn't have internet
These are not all
yesterday.
the side effects of Creon.
I could not. I would have done this on my phone.
Visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
We got another couple minutes left in the break, and then we'll be with you after traffic.
Okay. I'll
taking
park up when I hear
extra shifts
music.
for your family.
Thank
Now
you.
want to be the boss. Success is getting your foot in the door. Now you want to take the next step. Success looks different to everyone, and University of Maryland Global Campus can help you reach your goals. And there's never been a better time to get started on your future. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. As an accredited state university, UMGC has been transforming lives for over 75 years. With more than 135 undergraduate and graduate degrees and certificates, online and hybrid courses, personalized support, financial resources, and lifetime career services, achieving your dreams is more possible than ever before. Choose the program that's right for your career goals and get started on your next success. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Lunch was great, but this traffic is awful.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. Southbound 52 to Southview Boulevard ramp does remain closed as a result of a crash. Traffic on 52 itself jammed up as you come down from Thompson Avenue. South 35W approaching Highway 62. Crash off to the right, slowing it down as you come down from Diamond Lake Road. Traveling west 94 to downtown Minneapolis. That slows at Cedar Avenue into the Larry Hill Tunnel. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Hot, stinking hot. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and clear night tonight as we fall back to 61. The dew points are going to drop. Bottom line, it won't be as humid for the next several days. Still warm, though. Sunny, 84. That's 11 degrees above average. We're cooking on Friday with a high of 88. We'll keep that sunshine. Should stay dry this weekend with highs in the 80s.
Right now in beautiful St. Paul, Minnesota, the home of the Grand Casino Arena, it is 89 degrees and sunny on CCS.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Tracy Perlman is with us on this Wednesday. Tracy is hot.
It's hot out. I barely made it through that commercial break without picturing you with or without your shirt on.
Yeah.
So we need to know, inquiring minds need to know, Jason.
Why? Why did I do this? Yeah.
How did you mow the lawn?
Well, so my two sons have been in town from college, and Sam this morning left. Sam never mows the lawn. Seth has always been the lawnmower.
Okay.
But
good.
Seth is flying out tonight to go back to New York City. He has an internship at a hedge fund that is paying him $60 an hour.
Nice.
Which is about $40 more than I pay for a lawn mow.
Fair, but if he flew out tomorrow, he's flying out tomorrow?
He could have made a cool 20 bones by mowing the lawn today.
Oh, is he paying rent this last trip home? No.
For the 7 days
she's never
no.
mowed her lawn herself.
Right. So Seth said that he had already showered, which he had, so he did not want to mow the lawn. So fine. I like mowing the lawn. It's all right.
Okay.
But I was wearing a sweatshirt and shorts, and because, I mean, it doesn't really matter why, but I was.
Okay.
And I was too lazy to go back upstairs and get a T-shirt, so I just took off the sweatshirt and mowed the lawn without my shirt on.
Yeah. You know what? I'm fine with that. It's your house.
I felt very manly. I got to be honest.
Liberated. I did yard work fully clothed this last weekend.
What'd you do that for?
Well,
how about women?
You know what?
Women's rights.
I like my neighbors. Speaking of, huge shout out to neighbor Jeff, who has this cool tree cutting device, and we trimmed all my trees that go over the property line, and it was awesome. So shout out, Jeff is the listener. So shout out to Jeff.
As far as I know, Tracy doesn't live in Blaine.
No.
So it wouldn't be illegal for her to, mow her lawn however she wanted to.
Yeah.
Right?
Blaine's
the ones that are
I don't
about
actually
that,
have
right?
to mow my lawn. I live in an HOA.
Well, you could do gardening. What about topless gardening? What at-home chore would you most want to do topless? 651. No?
For me, it's not going to be cooking.
No.
Not going to be cooking.
Do you? I vaguely remember, like, years ago when people would talk about that as like a sexy time thing to do with your. No.
No, don't. No.
One splatter.
I'm concerned enough about you washing your hands. I don't need to be concerned about a full bath before doing that. Also, things splatter.
Right.
It's not. No one wants that. Household chores to do naked.
Well, I was just saying topless, but isn't that a thing? Like, you can hire like a sexy house cleaner, and they'll come to your house and do it. And
I don't know, Jason. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't know, Jason. Can you?
Hi, everybody. Jason here for Fantasy House Cleaners. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's an available option for.
Isn't this
bartenders?
Bartenders, sure. Mm-hmm. I think actually making a cocktail topless. Are we going topless or full on naked? Like, I'm just talking topless. this is an 18 plus conversation, not a 21 plus conversation, I guess, right? Is that the difference at the strip club? If you're
Sure.
growing up in Chicago, you had topless places that would be called fantasy sports bars. And then you had full-on strip clubs, no booze in those because you had topless and bottomless. I don't know what happened here. I apologize for that.
Yeah, this took a turn. So I did a bunch of yard work this weekend. I'm just going to do what I can here, Dan, for you. So we can
The textures are very intrigued, though, about this topic. Do you want to know what the textures want to do,
yes.
topless or naked?
Yeah, and then we'll judge them. So yes, let's do that.
It's got to be doing the dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, because you get the suds. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Soapy. Another texter says, my husband always says, sun's out, guns out when it comes to mowing the lawn.
That's fine.
Topless anything? Nope, I'm good. At least put a tank top on. No one wants to see that. I don't care if you're built like a tank or like a Jell-O mold. Cover up or put a fence up. I definitely lean more Jell-O mode than built like a tank, but it was just a matter of laziness. I didn't want to go get a shirt.
Yeah, you know what?
This is male privilege,
It's
isn't
fine.
it?
It's your yard. I don't really care. I mean, there's nothing inappropriate about not having your shirt on. If you go to a pool, you would presumably not have a shirt on. There's going to be kids there. So I think that's different than taking off your pants and mowing the lawn.
Which honestly, I mean, you certainly don't want to be like using the string trimmer if you're.
No.
I mean, there could be challenging for sure.
Yeah. Dan, I'm with you on that one.
I don't know. My friend Sonny always used to complain about a neighbor that would always mow the lawn topless. And today it was so hot. It was so hot.
How hot was it?
is it?
It's so hot. The chickens are out there laying hard-boiled eggs.
Oh.
It's so hot they installed a fan in the debt ceiling.
Oh.
It's so hot my grandma broke wind just to have a little breeze. None of these?
We like the fart. I like the fart joke. That one was funny.
Yeah.
Get it? Grandma farted.
I mean, these are good jokes. This is why Stephen Colbert got canceled for not doing these kind of jokes. This is what everybody seems to want, right?
This is it.
Have you watched the replacement for Stephen Colbert? I think.
Okay, so that show used to be on at like 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. And as somebody who used to work that shift and be at work, I have in fact seen it. I didn't know it was still fresh and live. I thought they were like legitimately, I thought they were like early 2000s, just repeats because we've got the rights to it. Comedians.
No.
I find that show very uncomfortable to watch.
I watched it inadvertently because of all of the Brian O'Hara news last night. I was watching the local news. And then you see Byron Allen and Comics Unleashed with graphics that, yes, look like it's out of like 1985. You're like,
Right,
what
and
is
they're
going
sitting
on?
a couch. I mean,
Yes. Just like
it's a
telling
very low
jokes.
budget show. I'm like, you didn't have like a CSI rerun to start CSI over.
He
We all
bought the
love CSI.
time.
Give me a buddy cop show.
He bought the time slot. It's sort of like the Lindis construction hour on the weekend here. Like you buy the time slot and you can do whatever you want, I guess.
Fox used to run TMZ like around the clock back then too. And it's like, okay, well, if people are watching it, I don't know, is that or dead air? Like, what else are you going to run?
I don't know.
If someone's going to pay for it, okay.
I would rather watch on TV Andy Lindis answering construction questions, at 10:30 on CBS.
Well, that could at least be useful information. Listen, I had a window break last night. And Jason, this was bad. It like turns, it's like an old car, right? So I like turned, opened the window. And as I went to pull it back, one of the screws came out. And I was like, ruh-roh. So I was going to videotape it, but I was actually kind of panicking because I didn't want like bugs to fly in at night. So I have all the lights off in my bedroom. I'm trying to get this window shut. It's not coming in. I have E6000. I have my crafting glue out. I took out my hot glue gun. The nail was just stripped. I finally grabbed the squeegee hook for my bathroom that I keep my squeegee on because it has a little clingy. Yeah. And I unclinged it from the bathroom. I clinged it on the window, and then I pulled the window shut. I could have used Andy Linden.
Very clever.
Thank
That's pretty
you.
good. That's a good solution, to be honest.
Thank you. I
had a home repair
I sent you guys
challenge.
an email late last night about all my panicking with home projects and yard work.
We got to take a break, but can I do a hot joke before we go to break?
Yeah.
Can I try one of these?
Oh, I'd love it.
Hey, it's really hot outside.
How hot is it?
So hot, I saw 2 trees fighting over a dog.
Oh.
Get it? That's a thinker. It's a thinker joke.
It's a PP joke.
Maybe it would have been better if it was two
potty
hydrants
jokes.
firing over a dog. Maybe that was a better way to go.
Yeah. Hydrants would have been a little better.
Probably.
But the tree joke is still good.
Not bad.
Yeah, we still get it.
Hit the button.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Let's talk about Minnesota pork. Can I get an oh yeah? Let's do it. 3,000 family farmers every corner of this state. And when summer's coming, to me, it is Minnesota pork season. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com is the website that has so many recipe ideas. I tell you, like, I love how this is set up. So say you want to do some grilling. You go to TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. You can filter these recipes by cut and also find some inspiration. If you're somebody who just is always going pork chop, which is what I had for dinner earlier this week, maybe you want to experiment with ground pork or rib roast or shoulder or tenderloin. So many options. I like pork steak. So we're going to click pork steak and grilling. And we're just doing this live. I have no idea. Oh, here we go. 3 things chopped up. Pork banh mi sandwich. Weeknight Dan noodles with a little bit of ground pork bok choy. So you can use ground pork in there. So many ideas. But the bottom line is just bringing people together, enjoying the good times of summer, and enjoying Minnesota pork. Support those family farmers. I love it. Love it. I hope you do too. Get your grocery store and butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is
Just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
We're still working on the east side of the metro with a vehicle or two that went down the embankment. South 52, the ramp to Southview Boulevard currently closed. Will be closed till things are cleared out, obviously. Traffic is jammed up past Thompson Avenue on the main line. Traveling east 94 into St. Paul, that slows past Lexington. Southbound 35W near Highway 62, crash in the clearing stages. Some slowings come down from 50th Street. Traveling north 100, the area of Minnetonka Boulevard, stall in the lane, now pushed off to the right side, but it is jammed up as you come up from Excelsior Boulevard. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service. It is hot. It's going to be hot. Well, for the next several days at least. Tonight we get down to 61. Tomorrow 84. Friday 88. It's going to be in the 80s and dry all weekend. A little worried about the dryness here in the metro, that's for sure. Downtown Minneapolis, 89 and sunny on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
It's exciting and it's terrifying at the same time.
I know.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Father's Day coming up. Continental Diamond would love to see you at their beautiful showroom in St. Louis Park, right at 394 Highway 100. Continental Diamond time check right now. It is $355. A nice watch. That'd be a pretty good Father's Day present. That's for sure. That is for sure. Tracy, the people are concerned, I think, about our weather conversation. So we're going to give them something else.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. They're concerned about the topless aspect of it. Maybe nobody just wants. Is it me? You think it's just no one wants to envision that? Possibly.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Dan is like, yes. I mean, some of it is like you spent 10 years watching me while you were in your underwear.
Yeah.
You know? So
you know what? Good point.
How about we turn it around?
Really good point. Yeah.
It's a great
I thought we were changing topics.
Yeah. All right. Gen Z single women, more Gen Z single women are becoming homeowners than single men.
Yeah.
This story in the New York Post. And, just the other day I was looking up, like, what is the high end of Gen Z? And it's 28, 29. Sort of interesting. I mean, don't you think back to yourself in your late 20s, though, and think you were much more mature than guys at that same age?
Oh, absolutely. Even now. Yes, absolutely. I think at 13, girls are much more mature than guys. I was 32 or 33 when I bought my house. How old were you when you bought your first house?
It was a condo. Now, I got married at 23. So we got a condo in Milwaukee at 27, maybe 26, 27.
Okay,
yeah, pretty young.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The thing I find remarkable about this is, we see more and more studies. People are putting off marriage. Women are putting off children. They're also getting married, or they're getting married younger. They're getting paid less than men. Yet they're buying homes.
Yeah,
So smart investment or trouble.
Well, this survey, this data point just looks at the people in Gen Z who are home buyers, and single women are 35% of it. Single men are 18% of it. I think a single guy just thinks he's still going to be like, well, he thinks he's going to be getting laid and he doesn't need a house. He wants an apartment.
Or he's just going to go to her house because she has one.
Oh, maybe. They're all living with mom and dad in the basement?
In the basement.
Oh, maybe that is it.
Shirtless mowing.
Good thing the single women are stepping up because the single men are going to let you down.
I know, but you know what? You guys can come over and do yard work at my house.
Young single men, hit up Tracy.
Come on
Local
over.
news is next.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees when used as directed. Spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
More than just news. It's the why behind the headline.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. A standoff between the U.S. and Iran continues. Iranian state media claims Iran sent a memo to the U.S. stating Iran will continue to control the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump says Iran is negotiating on fumes, but expressed optimism over a deal. ABC's Ian Panels in Israel with reaction.
The White House, the Trump administration keep voicing optimism that a deal is close at hand. But if you actually look at the facts on the ground, over the last few days, we've seen U.S. strikes in Iran vowing to retaliate, an increase in Israeli strikes in Lebanon, the Iranian-backed proxy group Hezbollah firing back here in Israel.
The CDC is stepping up screening procedures for Ebola at key airports where travelers arrive from Central Africa. ABC's Faith Abube is at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International.
An internal email obtained by ABC News shows acting CDC Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya urging employees to volunteer to screen Americans returning from Ebola hot zones for possible signs of the virus. The U.S. is one of several countries tightening travel restrictions amid the rapidly growing outbreak.
It comes as the U.S. is preparing to host the World Cup games next month, with criticism building over ticket prices. Now, 2 state prosecutors have launched an investigation into FIFA's ticketing practices.
Investigating whether fans were misled about the locations of the seats they were buying, New York Attorney General Letitia James and New Jersey Attorney General Jennifer Davenport. They also want to know whether FIFA's public statements about tickets inflated prices for the 8 matches at MetLife Stadium. Fans have reported they were misled about where their seats would be.
ABC's Chuck Sievertson. New York Knicks fans are celebrating the team's trip to the finals, but ticket prices for the championship games are soaring into the thousands. The Knicks still waiting to see who they'll face. The San Antonio Spurs lead the Oklahoma City Thunder 3-2 in the series. Game 6 is tomorrow. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 88 degrees at 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes. A man has died after a shooting during a prayer service at Canterbury Park this morning.
Shakopee police say they were called to the scene about 10 o'clock this morning and found a 26-year-old man who'd been shot multiple times. They say that man was taken to Hennepin County Medical Center for treatment, but has since died. The Samaha Islamic Center was hosting an Eid al-Adha prayer service at the center. No word yet on what led up to the shooting, and police say they have not yet made any arrests.
That's WCCO's Susie Jones. Many more questions than answers as the dust settles over the sudden resignation of Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey announcing last night it follows evidence that O'Hara tampered with an investigation into allegations he had a sexual relationship with one or more city employees. Frey says O'Hara deleted a city employee's contact information from his city-issued phone in order to shield his connection to that employee.
And even though he was instructed not to discuss the investigation itself with anyone, he told another city employee that his city cell phone had been taken from him for the investigation.
Meanwhile, some of Mayor Frey's most vocal critics on the Minneapolis City Council are calling for more transparency from the mayor on how the situation unfolded. Council President Elliott Payne says Frey should have taken action once allegations surfaced that O'Hara engaged in sexual relations with one or more city employees, even though those allegations were never substantiated.
Whatever the complaint was that rose to the occasion for an independent investigation should have been a strong indicator that would have been a measured response.
Payne also saying the council was never made aware of any investigation involving O'Hara. Minnesota Democratic Congresswoman Angie Craig shaking up the U.S. Senate race by announcing she plans to skip this weekend's DFL endorsing convention.
She says she's opting to focus all of her energy on the August 11th primary ballot. By bypassing the convention, Craig effectively leaves the party's official stamp of approval to her main opponent, Progressive Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. But Craig says she's not forgoing the convention out of a lack of respect for delegates.
My path to being on the ballot in November was not through the endorsement process. It was through the primary process. And so today, for me and for my supporters, is the day that we have been planning for since the start of this race.
Craig says she's relying on her track record of winning over centrists and independent voters to carry her through the summer. At the state capitol, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crews still working to clear out a crash South 52, the ramp to Southview Boulevard. Until then, the ramp remains closed. Traffic is jammed up past Thompson Avenue. West 94 slows through Hudson, Wisconsin, and make way toward the St. Croix River. Coming down the hill, if you're going to be traveling along 35W northbound, some slowing through Minneapolis, opens up, only to slow again near Highway 10. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Right now might be the perfect time to protect your home with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters, custom built for lasting performance. Get Leaf Guard brand gutters through Lindus Construction, 8449 Lindus, or on the web lindusconstruction.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And yes, it is brought to you by Lindus Construction, a single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs. lindusconstruction.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll keep the clear sky into the night tonight, and you'll love this. The humidity will drop. 61 the overnight low. Much more comfortable the next couple of days, but still very warm. Sunny and 84 tomorrow, sunshine and 88 on Friday. Our highs will stay up in the 80s right through the weekend.
Mostly sunny right now, 88 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You see headlines all day. This is the place where it all gets put together into something that makes sense. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
I want to react to the news that Laura just broke that Angie Craig has decided she's out of the nominating convention. She's not out of the race. It's Drive Time, Hour 2, 407. Jason here. Laura Oakes told you that Angie Craig, the U.S. Congresswoman from Minnesota, has decided she's not going to seek the nomination of her party. Was this smart? 651-461-9226. I think it was tactically smart for the regular voter. And man, would I be pissed if I were one of her supporters that went to a local district convention trying to convince people to vote for my candidate, Angie Craig. And then, it's Wednesday. The convention is this weekend. So a couple days out when you know that you're going to lose, you pull the plug. Doesn't say I'm a winner or I appreciate you guys working hard for me. That's the hard thing about this to me. From a theoretical standpoint, I think no one should go to a nominating convention. I hate these things. We all want a say in everything. You guys have lost your mind over the fact that you didn't get a say on the state flag of Minnesota. And so to give any candidate a head start with the party bosses and the true believers who would rather give up a summer weekend to go to one of these nominating conventions at great expense to themselves, right? You're going from all over the state to one party's in Duluth this weekend, the other in Rochester. I understand the benefit for organizing and getting people riled up. But I, as a non-hardcore party guy, I vote policy, I vote people, I don't vote party. I hate these conventions. I hate it. It forces candidates to take positions that they may or may not believe in order to assuage the beliefs of the hard right and hard left. If we could do away with these, period, I think it would be better. And also, I think it's sort of cowardly a couple days before when you know you're going to lose to be like, never mind, forget it, I'm out. And you know what? You guys enjoy the weekend. Feels loserish. 651-461-9226. Texter says it's called arrogance. I mean, she said all along that she was going to go to a primary. You know, this is this game, right? If you are the farthest to the right or the farthest to the left, you say, well, if you don't choose to abide by the endorsement, what are you even doing? It's all a load of crap as far as I'm concerned. Can you tell how I feel about party nominating? It forces people into these positions that are not necessarily electoral winners or what most of us care about. I mean, think about it. If the Republican Party didn't have nominating conventions, do you think abortion would be as big of an issue as it has been over the last 40 years? I don't. Texters say her delegates might not be that mad. Maybe. Because no one likes to get a butt whooping, and they were probably going to get one. The immigration issue has transformed that race. I think before Operation Metro Surge, I would have said, I think Angie Craig is going to win. And I've been on record for years saying that I think Angie Craig is the most gifted politician in the state of Minnesota. She has managed to take a almost 50-50 district, a district that leaned Republican. She turned it into a Democratic district. I'm not questioning the political savvy of this move. And a texter says, Jason, it's a good move by Angie. She's a crafty politician. Another texter says she's smart. She knows what she's doing. And another 952er says Craig doesn't need the endorsement money. I don't know that the money you get from the endorsement is what it used to be. You do get access to like all of the party mailing list and voter information, but I think with sort of the publicly available information, like, I don't know that it's that big of a deal. I don't know that these endorsements are that big of a deal. Dennis is in Annandale, 651-461-9226. What do you think? Angie Craig, just within the last hour and a half or so, Dennis, saying she's going to skip the nominating convention.
I think that, like you said, tactically smart. I think that the nominating conventions, like the caucuses, tend to skew the perspective to the closer to the fringes or the edges of each party. Yeah. And I would, just listening to you, I would love to see all of the candidates a chance to speak to the nominate or what they call the nominating convention, but that no one is nominated there, and then the party lists and everything goes to the winner of the primary.
That's really interesting. Thanks, Dennis. I like where Dennis is coming from there. There is value in having sort of the team building and party building and organizing that happens at these conventions. You get people fired up. It is sort of the official beginning of the season, the political season. So I that is interesting. Would people be as motivated to show up if there isn't a winner? Probably.
Maybe.
I think probably. I don't know, Dan. What do you think?
Well, I think that, when we talk about this tactically on Representative Craig's part, this is the best of a group of bad ideas, right? Or this isn't anything that she wants to be doing. She wants to, in a perfect world, she'd be going to the convention and getting the party endorsement. That's what she
or at least
want.
have it close, right? Yeah. Where they're like,
that's what she wants. Well, no, but she wants to win.
Of
right?
course.
That she would want to win. So this, my path has never been through that. Well, if they offered it to you, would you take it? Of course she would. Give me a break. Right. So this is just a realization of, you do the math and the numbers aren't there and they're not going to be there. So now where does that leave you? What's the best possible decision you can make, which isn't the decision you want to make? And so it's like I said, it's the best of a group of bad ideas or bad decisions, right? She doesn't want to have to do this, but it's sort of what you're forced to do if you want to try and maintain some sort of sense of electability come primary time. Because the truth of the matter is the delegates aren't going to vote for her in terms of the endorsement. They're just not. So now you've got to, if you're her, you got to try and convince people that are going to vote in a primary, which isn't the full general electorate by a long shot, but surely would include everybody that's going to be at the endorsing convention. Now you've got to, figure out a way to get the math of the difference between those two groups to vote for you overwhelmingly. And that's going to be a very steep uphill climb for her.
The track record on endorsements is not great. A text says, Peggy Flanagan ran against the endorsed candidate in 2018 on a ticket with Governor Wall.
Yeah, people love to bring up the Walls and Dayton and bucking the trend.
Aaron Murphy was the nominated.
100% that there have been endorsed candidates
almost
that
always
lose
lately. It seems
that lose primaries, but I would actually counter that. I would say if you take the total number of endorsements that have been given over the last decade or so, the number of those people that win their elections is large because you're talking about House seats and Senate seats.
That's fair.
Right. So
that's fair.
It's easy to pluck out some high profile ones where it hasn't gone the endorsed candidate's way. But I think overall the data would show that the endorsed candidate is the one that usually wins the primary election.
Yeah. And I do agree with your point that Angie Craig, she spent the last 6 months trying to win this endorsement and trying to appeal to the DFL delegates to the convention. So yeah, of course, today you're like, well, I knew I was going to have to go through. I don't know that she knew that until the immigration issue came and she's just been getting clobbered because part of her success was being a pro-police.
Yeah.
And look at Angie Craig, pro-police, lesbian, business executive. You're like, this is a unicorn human. Right?
Well,
and you're
she's-
like, she was able to thread that needle of where she got independents, she got Republicans to vote for her. The DFL convention goers, they don't want anybody who's getting any support from Republicans.
She's a centrist in a time that it's very difficult to be a centrist. We've seen primary election after primary election across the country already, that centrists are not the folks that are getting nominated for these or getting selected for endorsement.
When she's only a centrist by today's definition of a centrist.
Sure.
She's a pretty
But she
liberal
is. I mean,
Democrat.
whatever. I mean, and look, give
Yeah.
Peggy Flanagan a ton of credit because I'm not sure when
Oh.
she jumped in early in the Senate race.
Agreed.
I'm not sure the pundits were very sold on her being, the favorite to win. And I think she clearly is as we stand right now. Now, that doesn't mean Angie can't win the primary. But if you're going to look at those two and say which one's the favorite right now, I don't know how you could pick Angie Craig at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Peggy,
And that's kudos to Peggy Flanagan for the job that she's done.
Peggy Flanagan was elected to the House of Representatives unopposed in a special election in 2015. And I think she won. Did she win one election before she became the lieutenant governor candidate? So I think some of the thought was like, is Flanagan, she hasn't been tested in an election the way Angie Craig has. But boy, she has done an incredible job
and somehow
of getting the hardcore DFL activists to break for her,
and has somehow managed to avoid the taint of all the fraud that the administration deservedly has been painted with
so far.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, come to the general election, I assume that's going to be a big part of it if she's the candidate for the DFL. But
it's hard to say I did all the good things that happened in the state. But, I didn't really have that much power. So that's a tough one. 4:18, we'll break. Lots of text coming in. We'll keep talking about this if you want. 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word. Everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanHassenDT.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and $494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana, and I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Reff Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
They may take our furniture, but we'll give them freedom. During Borofka's Memorial Day event through June 8th, free Metro delivery with a furniture protection plan. Free, no interest, no down payment financing for up to 24 months. And up to $200 in free trade-in cash. It takes a brave heart to give folks all this freedom.
Oh, Jim. Borofka's. No gimmicks, haggling, or hard-to-understand pricing.
In Minnetonka, Woodbury, and Burnsville. Decidedly different.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
It's so bold. It's adventurous. It's edgy. You know, it's
risky.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Angie Craig knew she was going to lose, and so she bowed out. I will say, not of the race. She's bowing out of the convention. The chance to get the DFL nomination. I do think for Democrats, this is a good thing because you avoid. Now, it wasn't going to be a long, drawn-out, knockdown, drag-out fight between Angie Craig supporters and Peggy Flanagan supporters, but it wasn't going to be a long, drag-it-out operation because Peggy Flanagan has been saying that, you know, she's got already like 60% of the delegates for her. So it's going to be a quick situation. But, you know, yesterday we were talking about that some pundits are worried that these party conventions become a circular firing squad where you're just unleashing on your own people. And so may as well skip it. Now, what I would like to see in the future is everybody skip it. Go to the primary. Let the people vote. Take your case to the people. Texters at 651-461-9226 say the DFL can endorse one candidate and the National Party can endorse the other. That's true. That could happen. We've seen the National Lieutenant Governors Association endorse Peggy Flanagan, which I tell you, once you get the national LGs, like, whoa, it's over. You got it.
I'm shocked that an organization that Peggy used to chair would endorse her.
It's kind of weird. Like, I don't know, like all these endorsements. Do people even care? I think they care a little bit because it gives credibility. And we like to pick a winner.
Credibility, the appearance of momentum, and of course, a whole bunch of money.
Money. Texture says, I'm a far left liberal in South Minneapolis, and I'm voting for Angie Craig in the primary. The party convention delegates do not fairly represent the majority of us. Flanagan is not qualified, says a texter. Another texter says Peggy Flanagan is tied in with all the far left activist groups. That's why she has more delegates. They're more likely to caucus than average Democrats. Another texter. The primary may not be the full electorate, but it is a much broader universe than convention delegates.
It's definitely broader.
It's true.
I think you could, argue with the adjective, how, much broader. Given how little of the general electorate votes in a primary, in a midterm cycle, so it's not a presidential election, right?
No.
It's a midterm cycle and it's a primary. It's not a huge swath.
I mean, usually turnout is what, 10 to 15%?
Ish.
I don't know what better way there is to do it. I will say I find myself intrigued by like some of the national races that you see that you put all of the candidates. So like in Los Angeles, you have a campaign for mayor.
Of LA, yeah.
And it's nonpartisan, so you just throw all the candidates in the soup. You have a primary, and then you might get 2 Democrats running against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or you might get two Republicans.
Or a reality show host. I mean, you never know.
Who is a Republican. I mean, I think you might end up with better general election races if that were the case, but I don't know. And then the Michelle Tafoya situation. Now, if you're Tafoya, do you go to the convention this weekend? I think that'll be the most intriguing race to watch, because I think Michelle Tafoya, even though if you want to say Peggy Flanagan isn't experienced, Peggy Flanagan's been the lieutenant governor of the state. Now, is that a real job? I don't know.
She's also been a legislator.
She was,
Michelle's never held public office.
Michelle's never held rights. That's why I'm saying, like, if you're going to. But, Tafoya's, who knows if she'll win the nomination.
Adam Schwarz's doing everything he can to convince people that, he's got it sewn up. So.
He's been working on this for a long time.
Yep.
And so it's a question for the Republicans. Do you want to win? And maybe Schwarzy can win.
Maybe.
So it feels so early to be sort of making any sort of guess on this stuff. Texter says, I think Angie Craig has the better chance of beating Michelle Tafoya. And isn't that the end game for the Democrats? Well, I will say that I'm not sure that's the end game for any of our political parties in this state.
It ought to be.
Yes.
But I agree with you. I'm not sure that it is.
Who's more ruthless? I mean, this is one of the first elections that we really are going to get a chance to see who is more ruthless in going for the win. Now, I'm not saying this state leans Democrat. So if the Republicans think that they've got a lock on this deal, if Peggy Flanagan is nominated, I got news for you. I don't think so. I would not underestimate the fact that Peggy Flanagan has gone up against a U.S. representative who has had the most impressive track record of beating Republicans in this state. And Peggy has wiped the floor with Angie so far, at least when it comes to the activists. Will that translate? I don't know. 4:29, let's break. In just a minute, I want to return to our big story of the day, which is the chief of police in Minneapolis resigning before he could get fired. Who would want to be the chief of the Minneapolis Police Department? We'll talk about that when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Scalpel. Sponge. How we looking?
Looks good. BP is steady. 115/80.
All right, team. Let's close them up.
Wait, you're not Dr. Kelly.
Oh, no. But I did listen to a few segments about healthcare last week on News Talk 830.
We can't promise you'll suddenly be an expert, but you will be more informed. News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Free shipping this month at minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, and tell them Jordana sent you.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out?
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Losing a loved one is difficult enough without having to worry about paying property taxes on a home you inherited. That's really tough. If you're in a situation where you have to sell a property you inherited, you can trust my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita, the good neighbor agent, just helped Scott, a fellow WCCO radio listener, get his family home sold. He was going through a lot after his loss and wanted a quick, stress-free process. John's a compassionate guy. He was patient with Scott and also assured him he could get the job done fast without adding any stress. It took him less than 2 weeks to sell Scott's house. The buyer paid $10,000 over asking price. John made a stressful situation a lot easier for Scott. John makes selling easy. Want to know what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 12 eastbound near Central Avenue, multi-car crash off to the right side, helping to keep things slow as you make way through Wayzata. Traveling on 52 southbound, the ramp to Southview Boulevard has been reopened. It looks like there's still some activity off to the right side of the ramp itself. Traveling along 35 east southbound, get ready for slowdowns out of St. Paul as you head down toward Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
So the average high this time of year is about 15 degrees below what we're seeing right now. It's hot out. Here's Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and clear night tonight as we fall back to 61. The dew points are going to drop. Bottom line, it won't be as humid for the next several days. Still warm, though. Sunny, 84. That's 11 degrees above average. We're cooking on Friday with a high of 88. We'll keep that sunshine. Should stay dry this weekend with highs in the 80s.
I am seeing 90 degrees in St. Paul, 91 degrees in Minneapolis. This is ridiculous here on CCO. Thanks to JTR Roofing.
Time with DeRusha, where the conversation's always in drive. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I would run through a fire just to be by your side. If your heart's on the line, you can take mine. It's crazy, but it's true. There's nothing I won't do.
The police chief of Minneapolis resigned yesterday afternoon. The mayor said he was likely going to fire him. The mayor maybe should have fired him. I do wish that the chief of police, former chief of police, Brian O'Hara, if you're going to interfere with an investigation into your own conduct, don't you think that like maybe you should do something a little more impressive than just deleting one contact out of your phone? Like so sort of disappointing from a subterfuge standpoint, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you're a cop, look, I'm a former news reporter. I've spent much of my career reporting about criminals and how they committed crimes and how they killed people. All of those stories have one thing in common. The people never got away with it. So I have built up a catalog of various hijinks that didn't pay off. So if I thought about how would I do it? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I have a lot of really good plans. And if Dan Cook ends up dead and missing, you guys are going to turn to 4:37 p.m. on May 27th, just so you can mark this, Dan, in case of disappearance. But come on, the chief of police, this is what brings the guy down. Allegations that he slept with subordinate or subordinates or a city employee. Was it a cop? Was it a recruit? Was it a this? Was it that? I don't know. It's a lot of, I think, fair criticism of Mayor Frey and unfair criticism of Mayor Frey on this thing, as is the norm. And next hour, we'll play a little bit of the conversation we had with Council President Elliott Payne, where I pointed out, like, when he's saying that he wants the mayor to hand over more information about investigations as they're going on, I pointed out, I'm like, look, there are a couple of city council members who never miss an opportunity to turn anything into a bash of the mayor. So I can sort of understand why the mayor wouldn't necessarily want to share that information. That said, I do worry that going forward, if you're a great police chief from somewhere in the metro or somewhere around the country, do you want to come work in Minneapolis? Back when Brian O'Hara took the job, I thought, there is a special breed of law enforcement officer who does want the sort of challenge that you would have in the city of Minneapolis, because the expectations, I think, are that you're going to fail. And if you do slightly better than expected, you've done pretty well. Let's be honest, to be a police chief in Minneapolis, I don't think the deck is stacked against you as much as some of our conservative listeners think. The budget for the Minneapolis police chief has gone, or for the department has gone up over the years, not down. Police officers are being, thankfully, paid more and more because we want the best. We want people who want to come and do the tougher job of law enforcement in the city. So I do think there are some things that are very good about this job. At the same time, a good chunk of the Minneapolis City Council is cheering against you. They don't like policing. They don't like law enforcement. I'm not going to go so far as to say they want to defund. I think that term has become like such an explosive term. But I do think the political environment, it would keep me away if I were a very successful police chief. Wouldn't you rather go to the South, where you have more support from your community, more support from the city councils, the mayors? I don't know. I don't know that I want this job. Now, a texter says, Brian O'Hara did a great job for Minneapolis. Who cares that he had an affair? So when you are the chief of any public department, you can't sleep with someone that works for you. You can't. It is 2026. It is not 1966. It is not the days of Mad Men where you're hitting on the secretary. And if it is, you should be fired. Because we have a different understanding today about just how much free will a subordinate has in a situation with a boss. Now, I'm not as extreme on this as some are. I do think workplace romances are fine. I do think workplace infidelity, from a moral standpoint, I'm not a fan of it. Just want to go on the record, anti-cheating. That's me. But I don't think that it's the end of the world. I think not every, if you're a senior financial analyst and there's a junior financial analyst and you barely have any supervisory authority, and yes, technically on the org chart you're above, or you were two people who were, like most workplaces have procedures, you disclose it. Maybe sometimes somebody moves to a different department, but there are ways that you can do it that are appropriate. I don't think there's any way that a chief or a CEO or a president of an organization can sleep with somebody who works there. And in fact, like, you're the freaking chief of police. You telling me you can't have an affair with some rando? You got it. What are we doing? Now, again, they had a whole investigation into this, and they didn't say it didn't happen, but they couldn't substantiate.
Which is why this isn't why he was fired.
It's not why he was fired. He was fired because of a ham-handed, lame effort to try to cover it up on your city-issued phone by deleting a contact card. Like, not even he deleted text messages. And if we really want to get into it, we have a whole problem all throughout government of our elected officials deleting stuff and covering up stuff and using private emails so they can have conversations that aren't subject to a public records request. And then we have the state legislature that has exempted themselves from all of this stuff. So this state, which thinks it's so open and so clean, is the opposite. And it's not, this guy got caught, but there are procedures in place that are allowing this sort of stuff to be going on routinely day in, day out. Now, Dan, there's a major difference.
There is a major difference. And you and I were talking about this before the show, because it's one thing for a civilian. It's one thing for somebody that isn't steeped in the investigatory process to do something to even accidentally or even inadvertently be deleting some information that would be pertinent to an investigation. But as the chief of Minneapolis police, with a long and storied career in law enforcement, Chief O'Hara absolutely understood that he was under investigation and that deleting this information would impede that investigation.
That's right.
Right? You hear police all the time tell people, hey, make sure and bring us all the information. Don't delete any. Don't do anything that hinders us because we're trying to get to the truth. So there's zero chance, absolutely zero chance that he didn't understand what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he chose to do it anyway. And whatever the motivations are, but the bottom line of it is he messed with an investigation. And as the chief of Minneapolis police, you absolutely cannot do that. Absolutely not. And I think, in a way, Mayor Frey did him a favor of allowing him to resign.
I agree.
And maybe, we get a lot of textures. Hey, he did a lot of good things for Minneapolis. He did a lot of good things for Minneapolis.
I agree with that too.
And that's true. So maybe he deserves the right to go ahead and resign.
Maybe.
But you cannot continue as chief once you've made this decision. It just, it kills your personal integrity, and it kills the integrity of the department. And boy, MPD has enough problems with the integrity of that department. You can't add this onto the list.
And it's not an academic issue, because that lack of trust and lack of integrity, lack of ethics. Well, now, if I'm a beat cop and I'm under investigation for some internal affairs thing, you're going to tell me I got to cooperate? You're going to tell me I can't mess with,
I can't delete the contact in my phone? Yeah.
Why'd he do it? Why'd he delete it? Well, he made the decision to resign, so I think he understood that he was cooked.
Right. The easy answer to why'd he do it is because he knew he had done something wrong and he was trying to get away with it. I don't know that that's absolutely the case, but that's the easy answer to that question. But in a way, it doesn't matter why he did it.
That's right.
The fact is that he did it, and he did it knowing that he was impeding an investigation, and you just absolutely can't do that.
You can't do it. You can't do it. And that does get to sort of the flaw in a lot of the criticism against Mayor Frey, where city council members are saying, well, the mayor should have told us more. The mayor should have fired him anyway. The mayor shouldn't have renominated him. If all the mayor had was, well, we got this investigation going on that indicates that he was having an affair or he was sleeping with a city employee. Well, you can't act on that. You can't act on that. Now, I do think you didn't have to renominate him. You have, as someone who works under an employment contract, as an employer, you get an opportunity to, it's this loophole. You can fire someone without firing. You don't renominate them. You don't sign him to another contract. Now, I've been trying to get some clarity as to what the legal side of this is, and maybe you're still exposed to legal challenges. But I bet you could have said, I'm good. Texter says, I'm betting the reason he deleted the contact was to protect the other person. I think that's probably true as well. And does it matter? No, because you know better. You just can't do it. We're going to break in a minute. A question about packing for a trip. A question inspired on the absolute train wreck that was my 18-year-old suitcase for a trip. He is currently en route to the Philippines. How early do you pack before a trip? 651-461-9226. Drive Time. Coming at you in a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
You hungry? You hungry right now, Dan? Oh, I'm hungry. I am hungry. Wonder what's for dinner tonight. My wife's gonna guess when I reach out to her and say, what should we have for dinner tonight? Minnesota pork is what we should have for dinner tonight. It's Jason here for 3,000 family pig farmers all over Minnesota who love the summer. Why do pig farmers love the summer so much? It's because summer is a time of coming together. And when you have Minnesota pork as the centerpiece of your backyard gathering, you're talking about juicy pork burgers. You're talking smoky sausages. How about succulent ribs? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Recipe inspiration, I got it for you. At tastewhatporkcando.com, you can search based on your cooking technique. Tonight's a good grill night, I think, when it's so hot. Maybe you want to use the air fryer, too. There are recipes for all of that, different cuts. Pork is so affordable right now. Lean, high in protein. And you're doing the right thing to help Minnesota farmers get to that grocery store or butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
Get everything you need for the entire job delivered. From lumber to drywall, flooring, and fixtures, get it all delivered from the Home Depot. With same day, next day, or any day delivery. Staying on track and on time is crucial to your job. That's why it's our job to get you what you need when you need it. We deliver the supplies. You deliver the results. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
A single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs, lindisconstruction.com. 694 eastbound, your Highway 61 crashed off to the right shoulder, about ready to clear out of the way, but traffic is already jammed up as you make way between there, heading out over to White Bear Avenue. Finding slowdowns in place, 694 both directions between Highway 10 and 252, 10 westbound, some flowing into Anoka. Stop worrying about clogged gutters. Protect your home with clog-free Leaf Guard brand gutters, custom built for lasting performance to handle the elements. Go to lindisconstruction.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinatitas, and it's a knockout. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it blazing with brilliance. You got gamblers, romance, and show-stopping tunes. Guys and Dolls, visit ChanhassenDP.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It is so hot out there. 91 in Minneapolis right now. It is going to chill down, sort of. Chris telling us tonight's low 61. Tomorrow, 84. Tomorrow's going to be pleasant. Friday, back to 88. Dry with highs in the 80s all weekend. 73 is our average. We're stuck in a scorcher. Weather brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Guys and dolls, hey, on stage at ChanhassenDT.com.
Jason DeRusha.
You are not part of the problem. You're actually part of the solution. Thank you.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Did you like my guys? It took me a minute to get to the right voice. I'm no Adam Carter. That guy can do voices. Me? If I were leaving Minnesota for 2 months in the Philippines, probably would have started packing before last night. Our 18-year-old is interning in Manila, and he is on the way to Dubai right now. And everybody's telling Sam, like, be careful. Make good choices. And I told Sam this morning to make some bad choices.
Just maybe the less risky ones.
Yeah. He said on his last USC business school trip to Thailand, he was with a bunch of USC students. So he had the ability to make more bad choices because, power in numbers.
Sure.
He's pretty much on his own here. And so he said he would make fewer bad choices. Like, all right. College student life where they're sort of adults and also still idiots, still children. Sam packed last night. He stands on our bathroom scale and then stands on it with the suitcase, and it was like 56 pounds. So Alyssa says, can I open this up and see what's in here? Which I think it was good she asked.
That's, kind of her.
I don't know what's in it. So opens it up. Sam had 5 pairs of jeans, 4 pairs of dress pants, 5 pairs of shorts. He has laundry in the Airbnb he's staying in.
Sure. But it's 2 months.
He had 25 pairs of underwear.
Seems excessive.
15 T-shirts. We're like, Sam, it's 95. Like, get rid of 3 pairs of jeans. He's like, well, I'm not going to be wearing shorts. I like wearing jeans. I need all these different jeans. I'm like, Sam, they're 3 of the same wash. What are you doing? Andrew says he tries to pack 3 days before. Another texter always has their bags partially packed. Since I hate packing.
Seems like there's this backstory there.
Should I do that? Should I? I mean, I sort of feel like that at the workplace. I should have a box ready at all times.
Have a go bag?
Just in case the bosses are like, this ain't it. This we were hoping for something different. We were hoping this show would get better. I mean, I got Continental Diamond. I got them for you. ContinentalDiamond.com. Time check 4:57.
Why sell your house the hard way when you can sell it the easy way? When you say yes to a guaranteed cash offer from Chris Lindahl Real Estate, you can skip the line, get in the fast lane, and get a fresh start in life. Go to chrislindahl.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
Real news, real talk, in real time. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. New concerns over stalled talks between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump at a cabinet meeting today says Iran wants to make a deal. Iran state media, meantime, says Iranian leaders have sent a memo to the U.S. that Iran would continue to patrol the strait. ABC's Ian Pannell is in Israel and has more on the sticking points.
The discussions that are ongoing right now is basically to try and lift the siege of the Strait of Hormuz, the restrictions put in place by Iran, and to allow the U.S. naval blockade to be withdrawn. What it doesn't resolve are the outstanding issues, the ones that existed before, during the war, and throughout this ceasefire, primarily Iran's nuclear program.
A 69-year-old Southern California man known for the display of American flags and Make America Great Again memorabilia that he kept in his front yard has died, authorities say, days after being attacked and beaten outside his home last week. Family members say Kerry George Sharon, as an Army veteran. The defendant, 32-year-old Thomas Caleb Butler, served in the Navy and police say was arrested. A motive remains unknown. In Washington state, recovery efforts continue for paper mill employees missing after a chemical tank rupture in Longview, just south of Olympia. 2 others are confirmed dead. 9 are unaccounted for. Governor Bob Ferguson says families and the community are in shock.
We're bracing ourselves for this being the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern Washington state history. when you have a tragedy of that scale, the impacts on individuals, on families, and on communities is profound.
The cause remains under investigation. The CDC has sent an urgent request for its agency to recruit personnel to help screen travelers coming from Central Africa for symptoms of Ebola. Uganda has closed its border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. A Google employee has been arrested over Google bets on Polymarket using confidential search information, authorities say. You're listening to ABC News.
Hot summer. Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 89 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. A 26-year-old man who was shot multiple times at a Muslim prayer service at Canterbury Park Expo Center this morning has died of his injuries. Police are still searching for a suspect. Canterbury Park officials offering their condolences and say the casino remains open and live racing will resume as planned this weekend. Minneapolis once again making national news following the sudden resignation of Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Mayor Jacob Frey announcing last night O'Hara chose to resign rather than face disciplinary action for interfering with an investigation into his conduct.
This is not about being intolerant of mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, including me. But what I can't allow is a breach of trust. When you serve as chief of the Minneapolis Police Department, trust is not secondary to the job. It is the job.
O'Hara had been investigated for alleged sexual relationships with city employees. Frey says those claims were never substantiated, but that O'Hara tried to shield investigators from evidence. Some members of the Minneapolis City Council expressing their concerns over the mayor's handling of the situation and calling for more transparency. Council President Elliott Payne says he'd like to see more collaboration between the mayor and the council when it comes to big decisions like this.
I think that the mayor should be relying on us to expand his view of judgment on some of these hard decisions. And I think that when he goes off into his office alone and makes decisions without actually working with city council, you get this result, which is a total lapse of judgment.
And in a statement, Mayor Frey says he doesn't make decisions based on rumors and anonymous complaints because that would mean making decisions based on optics, not facts. He says he took action promptly after receiving the investigative report with substantiated findings and says decisions this serious have to be grounded in facts, evidence, and completed investigations. U.S. Representative Angie Craig officially filing for the Senate primary and says she will skip this weekend's DFL endorsing convention. Craig says rather than trying to win the endorsement, she's focused on a statewide summer campaign.
Most Minnesotans can't put a delegate vote over driving their dad to a doctor's appointment. I respect the folks tremendously who participate in the DFL endorsement process. I know every single one of the delegates have lives too, but they are the exception.
And a Roseville man charged in connection with $90 million in alleged Medicaid fraud has been deemed a flight risk and ordered by a judge to remain in custody. 32-year-old Muhammad Omar was called out by federal officials last week when charges were announced against 15 people. He was captured on video limping after jumping from a fourth-story balcony to avoid arrest. He broke his leg. WCCO News Time is 5:05.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
This update is brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. 694 eastbound near Highway 61. The crash there has been cleared out of the way. Traffic still a bit sluggish though between 35E. Anything over to White Bear Avenue. Traveling south 35W still slows through downtown Minneapolis as you head toward 46th Street, 94 westbound. Not too bad of a drive right now. Hemlock Lane over to Weaver Lake Road. Speeds pick up at the post to just beyond that. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll keep the clear sky into the night tonight, and you'll love this. The humidity will drop. 61 the overnight low. Much more comfortable the next couple of days, but still very warm. Sunny and 84 tomorrow, sunshine and 88 on Friday. Our highs will stay up in the 80s right through the weekend.
Mostly sunny right now, 89 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Big topics, bigger opinions, all on the biggest platform. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Did the mayor do enough? The question some city council members are asking in the wake of the resignation of the police chief, the former police chief now of Minneapolis, Brian O'Hara.
Now shut up and drive.
Chief O'Hara was not fired because of all the rumors that have been swirling. There are rumors. I'm not going to get into all the rumors. There was a complaint filed, though, alleging that the chief had a sexual relationship with a city of Minneapolis employee. He was not fired for that. He was not fired for having an affair. He was not fired with sleeping with an employee or another cop. We don't know. In fact, and maybe I'm being a Pollyanna about this stuff, but the fact that an independent law firm spent 4 or 5 months investigating and couldn't get him, you think like either this law firm wasn't very good or the chief was really good at covering his I don't know, or maybe it didn't happen. And because of that uncertainty, that's why the mayor is saying, like, come on. Like, once I knew that the chief did something wrong, I said, here's the investigation. You're going to be disciplined, and you might be fired. And the chief resigned. I do think we need a better way of communicating about this stuff. Right now, there's no information. And what I would propose would be some sort of a system of risk potential. So is there a red alert complaint? Is there a yellow, a caution, we're keeping an eye on it? Or is there a green? Because if you're the chief of police in any major city, you're getting complaints filed against you. They're coming from civilians. They're coming from activists. They're coming from fellow police officers. If you in your workplace could file a complaint against your manager, wouldn't you? Seems kind of fun. Stick it to the man. I think that is just part of the culture. It just is. So you can't fire a guy even for 20, 22, 30, however many open complaints there were against the chief. That said, man, we have a dysfunctional relationship between the mayor of Minneapolis and the city council. And that came to light during a conversation we had with Council President Elliott Payne. And bear in mind, I blame him. And I say so when we talked. Our full conversation was in our first hour. You can hear it on the Drive Time with DeRusha podcast, which you can get at WCCOradio.com/Jason. But here's a little snippet of the conversation that I want to talk about, something Elliott Payne and I talked about. I do think there are some city council members, my perception, not putting words into his mouth, but I think there is a perception that, look, there are a number of people on the council that do not like this mayor, disagree with him politically, don't like him personally. If he shares this information, I don't know that there's trust between the council and the mayor, which I blame all of you guys, but I don't know that there's trust to share that information.
Well, we have to set these personal differences aside. I am the president of the city council. He is the mayor of the city. We have a role and a responsibility and a duty to our community to honor these roles. And we, especially in the first 2 years of my time in office, almost every 2 weeks, we were having a closed session on another litigation matter associated with police conduct. We held all of that information confidential throughout. We are always in the loop on this type of confidential information, and we need to be trusted to hold that information confidentially because we do know what the consequences are. And so that was a political choice that the mayor made to keep us in the dark. There is a real good reason to keep this information confidential, but this was a deliberate choice to keep it confidential. And I think it was it harmed our community because we could have been able to offer him more guidance on how he should be moving forward with that nomination had we had more insight into it.
Should the mayor have told the council what was up? 651-461-9226. I don't know. Do you trust that the council would keep this confidential and not use it as a way to score political points against the mayor? Now, what I do think the mayor should be held accountable for is why renominate Brian O'Hara to be the chief for another term? He didn't have to do that. And so we need a better way, right? We need a better way. And the mayor didn't have to nominate him. He could have just said, like, yeah, we're still, I'm still making up my mind. I know there's some questions that the council has about overtime, and there's some answers I want to get from the chief. And he could have just delayed. And now, do I think that these city council members would be like, oh, the mayor handled this well if he did it differently? No. I think Jason Chavez, Aisha Chugtai, and Elliott Payne, to a lesser degree, but not that much less, those three are going to get out sort of their verbal firing squad no matter what the mayor does. So we have to be realistic about that. That said, you can't just dismiss their complaints and say, well, they're crabs and they hate me. And I sort of feel like that is the Minneapolis approach. And I don't know about you. Are you looking forward to another? And the mayor was just elected, right? Are you looking forward to another 3 years of this sort of immature pissing match between the mayor and the city council? In the meantime, the rest of us are like, what are we doing? Is this the city you want? I don't know. And if you're a potential police chief, do you want this? Do you want to come get in the middle of this nonsense? I don't know, man. Not good. 651-461-9226. Trust the council. Ha! That's laughable. Remember that we have a strong mayor system now. Another texter says, I don't think the mayor has to let them know. I don't believe they should be in on the decision. He is the mayor. The city council just appeases the far left wing. Another texter, Payne and his faction try to throw mud in the mayor's face any chance they get. Another texter, I think O'Hara just got fed up with the dysfunction and BS with city council and mayor. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did. He wanted to be reappointed. So I don't think that's it at all. Texter says, I liked O'Hara. I do think this is part of what makes this so shocking. Because I was just saying on the show yesterday how Chief O'Hara and Mayor Frey deserve credit for the fact that the Minneapolis Police Department is not the same Minneapolis Police Department that we had in 2020. There's been so much turnover, so many new recruits. And boy, this next generation of recruits, you think if you wanted to join the Minneapolis Police Department over the last couple of years, oh, I salute you, right? Like this is amazing. So I have nothing but respect for the fact that last year they were a net positive in adding new police officers. It's hard. We have tough training requirements in this city and in this state. And so it takes a while to onboard a new police officer, as it should. So I do think they get great credit for that. And I think that's why this hurts so much, where you're like, oh, man, like such a betrayal of trust to do what he is accused of doing, going in and deleting. And even though deleting a contact card in the scheme of things, you and I have probably committed greater offenses. But this is a police chief who knew he was under investigation and knew what he was doing. And you can't earn that trust back. There's no apology that makes up for that for me. So you got to go. There's no other choice. And the mayor made the choice quickly. I did ask Elliott Payne about that. Does he get credit for making a quick decision when the sort of the investigation came through to indicate that indeed he had deleted this contact? And what Elliott Payne basically said no. So, I mean, there's no winning to a certain degree, but I still choose not to dismiss all of their arguments, You still got to take the argument and say, would we be better served as a community if you had a functional relationship with the city council and the mayor and you had a better exchange of information? I think you would. Texters at 651-461-9226. Minneapolis City Council is running like a leaking faucet. Wasn't one of them accused of lying about the early ice raid on Lake Street? Another texter says, I'm less interested in Elliott Payne's blame game than what are we going to do now? I think that's a great point, and I want to talk about that in just a minute. Because the interim police chief is a woman who was relatively non-controversial throughout her term as a Minneapolis police officer until she testified against Derek Chauvin. And then Alpha News prominently featured accusations against her from current and former police officers in a documentary and a book. Did they pick the wrong person to be the interim chief, or is Katie Blackwell being unfairly smeared? We'll talk about that when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here with an invitation for you to experience service in a men's clothing store like you've never seen before. J.H. & Sons is at the Galleria in Edina. And you want to go visit Alicia and Bryce and Dean and Chuck and the whole team at J.H. & Sons. They're going to take care of you so well. Alicia saw a friend of mine who came in to visit J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. He needed to be fitted for a suit, and he only had 2 days. And they told me not to tell you guys this because normally they like to take more than 2 days. But my friend Ray had 2 days. And so right away, he walks in and she's like, you're a 40 regular and your waist is 32. And he was like, bingo. And they got it done. He got his suit in 2 days because they have a tailor on site. They had beautiful options for Ray. It's just that extra service where they will take care of you. It's premium men's clothing. You're going to love it. They got clothes for going out, date night, vacation, the whole bit. But their suits are next level. JHandsons.com to sign up for their email list. But you got to go to the store. It's at the Galleria in Edina, J.H. & Sons.
Maintaining a larger home while you were younger and were raising a family might have been worth it. But now that your kids are older, and so are you, could be more work than you want, admit it. If you're thinking about downsizing, you need to call my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita here. Lowell and Linda have been hearing me tell you about the good neighbor agent and the client success stories for years. When they were ready to downsize, they knew they had to give John a call. The Schuster Group specializes in senior relocation services. They also specialize in marketing, really important, which helps their home sellers sell their houses fast and for the most money possible. That makes the next stage of life a lot easier. It only took John 16 days to find Lowell and Linda a buyer. Curious what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it. but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Would a boy like you like a girl like
So some new reporting just out within the last couple minutes from the Minnesota Star Tribune. Liz Sawyer, great reporter at the Star Tribune, sharing a little more insight as to what happened and what sort of complaints happened and what the allegations were. And the crux of it is, I'm just reading it right now. It was published 2 minutes ago. But the crux of it is that there was a complaint filed almost a year ago saying that the chief had created a hostile work environment and was accused of having an affair. And the complaint was closed because there wasn't enough evidence, there weren't enough witnesses, whatever. But in April of 2025, the complaint said he had inappropriate romantic relationships with at least 3 female subordinates. He was verbally abusive to front office staff. Once threatened to punch the former interim police chief, Amelia Huffman. So the city started this investigation back in, that was a long time ago, right? April of 2025. But the key to all of this was the fact, so he's been under investigation for more than a year. More than a year. But the new investigation that was reopened earlier this year when a department whistleblower came forward with additional information. So they started that investigation a year ago, closed it, and then earlier this year, somebody came forward and said, hey, I have some more information on this. And that new investigation is where they found that he likely knowingly and intentionally deleted that contact card. So that's the latest information there. The real question is what's next? And because we can't have a day without a controversy, the person who was selected to be the acting police chief is Katie Blackwell. And as soon as I heard it's Katie Blackwell, I thought, oh boy, here Alpha News is going to lose their mind. Let me tell you a little bit about Katie Blackwell, because she is essentially, she was Brian O'Hara's number 2. Born in Minneapolis, 46 years old, served in the National Guard for 28 years, Minnesota National Guard. A Purple Heart, Bronze Star, awarded both of them. Joined the Minneapolis Police Department in her hometown in 2002. Became the 5th precinct inspector, rose through the ranks, and then has been the assistant chief overseeing patrols and investigations. So the nuts and bolts of the main stuff the police department has been doing. That's since August of 2023 in that job. So when you hear that, you're like, pretty good, right? What more could you want in a chief? It's pretty fantastic. But the one time that Katie Blackwell ended up in sort of the crosshairs of news coverage was when she testified during the trial of Derek Chauvin. I watched every second of that trial. One of the very noteworthy parts of that trial is the fact that, and Katie Blackwell wasn't the only one, but Minneapolis police officers testified against Derek Chauvin. That almost never happens, right? The blue wall of silence. Nope. In this case, Minneapolis police officers stepped up and said, this isn't right. This isn't what we were trained to do. Katie Blackwell said on the stand that the restraint, sort of the knee on the neck, that method was not part of their training. But something like 14 different affidavits were filed from former officers who said, no, Minneapolis police did train this sort of restraint. Now, I will say this. In the scheme of things, Derek Chauvin pled guilty in federal court. Do I think the testimony of Katie Blackwell, sent Derek Chauvin to lockup? No, I don't. Do I think Katie Blackwell perjured herself, as some of these officers claim? Did she lie by saying this wasn't trained? I don't know. I think you can say that there was a difference of opinion. It wasn't in the official training documents. Was it trained? Maybe it was trained before she came in. I don't know. It wasn't part of current training. Officers get current training. They get ongoing training. And so that's sort of where I'm at on that. I think it's useful to know that a number of officers said she lied on the stand. But it was over an issue that I think is very contentious and very questionable. And so to me, it's not disqualifying. To me, it's not. I think the question is she can be a good leader? And her background, I think, certainly looks good as an outsider, right? So that's sort of where I'm at on that. They are going to do a national search. It is not unusual you've been in training before, right? Maybe you have one view, somebody else has a different view. Maybe these cops came together because they don't like Derek Chauvin going down for this. Who knows? But it is part of her story. It is part of the analysis that I think all of us should run. We're going to break. Enough. It's coming your way. I'm ready for it. Are you ready for it, Dan Cook? Do you have enough in the holster?
I am fired up.
All right. We want to know what you're fed up with, what you're annoyed by, what you're irritated by, what you just want to say, enough. 651-461-9226. You can send a text message. You can give us a call, and you can send a voice message. If you're listening live on the Odyssey app, just click that microphone, and it'll count you down, and you start recording, and it comes right to Dan and me here in the studio. We'll play it on the air. Enough, our Wednesday Get It Off Your Chest feature coming up in just a minute.
With DeRusha, tuned up and rolling, thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Red Pocket Mobile.
Elon Musk's proposed AI semiconductor plant in Austin, Texas could wind up costing as much as $119 billion. Bloomberg reports that Musk's SpaceX is proposing spending $55 billion on the initial construction phase of the so-called TerraFab plant, which would make advanced chips for space-based computing and lower power chips for autonomous vehicles and humanoid robots. I'm Jason Brooks.
Chuck McDowell here with Red Pocket Mobile. Ever sign up for one of those too good to be true phone deals? 1 minute you're feeling great, then suddenly you're paying over $1,000 a year. Crazy, right? You know who else thinks that's crazy? Red Pocket Mobile.
Right now at Red Pocket, new and existing customers adding a line can get our premium 5G plan for just $5 a month. That's only $60 a year. And choose from all three major 5G networks with one locked-in low price at redpocket.com. Redpocket.com.
New building, brand new. It's open now. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, that new facility. Oh, they needed it. The sales team over there was crammed in this old building. And look, understandably, because when Kia came on the scene, it wasn't nearly as hot as it is today. Kia just judged best cars for the money, best family car, top mid-size electric SUV. The Kia is red hot, and the deals this summer are red hot as well. I was just looking at the Luther Kia of Bloomington.com website, and they've got the new Kia EV6 2025, which I test drove, and that is some sweet deals on it. $18,000 off. You got to check the store for all the details on this, but that's a heck of a deal. The Kia Sorento Hybrid. So many people are curious about hybrids, trying to stretch their gas mileage because, oh, you know what I paid to fill up today? It was $4.59. Youch. Take a look at the Kia Sorento Hybrid. Great deals, some sign and drive deals as well from just awesome people. Dan Dingman and his team at Luther Kia, they're going to take care of you. You make sure you tell them you heard about it on Drive Time with DeRusha. Get to 35W and 494 in Bloomington. Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. Talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash off to the right side, 61 southbound Lower Afton Road. Get ready for some slowing in that immediate area and some stoplight congestion. West 94 is jammed up as you make way through Huron Boulevard down to the St. Croix River. Slow and go stoppable mix as you make way through that run. If you're traveling 35E northbound, got your slowdowns there as you come up from Highway 13 into downtown St. Paul. Troy Peterson, New Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family in the future. Enjoy food. Visit with speakers from the Edina Chapel Wednesday, June 3rd at 11:30 a.m. at Pinstripes Edina. Information at washburnmccreevy.com. Seating is limited.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's our chief meteorologist, Chris Schaefer.
A quiet and clear night tonight as we fall back to 61. The dew points are going to drop. Bottom line, it won't be as humid for the next several days. Still warm, though. Sunny, 84. That's 11 degrees above average. We're cooking on Friday with a high of 88. We'll keep that sunshine. Should stay dry this weekend with highs in the 80s.
It is hot. Ooh, baby. 90 degrees in Minneapolis on CCL.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
Nothing. It just turns into nothing so quickly.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I have had enough! Enough is enough! Enough!
651-461-9226. Jim, you get to go first. What have you had enough of?
Well, thanks for taking my call. First off, I'm a veteran, and we just passed Memorial Day.
Yes.
And I listen to the radio all the time. CCO is my number one go-to listening spot.
Thank you.
And I've heard, I don't know how many times, people well-meaning saying that veterans gave their lives. Well, I'm a veteran of 10 years in the Army, and I have to clarify that statement. Although, again, people were well-meaning. I dare say there's any veteran who passed away, who died in a conflict, gave their lives. These veterans' lives were not given. They were taken from them in oftentimes very agonizing, excruciating circumstances. So it sanitizes the language, and it doesn't give full perspective on what a veteran goes through who passes away in a conflict. So the phrase, they gave their lives, every time I hear that, it gets under my skin to no end.
Jim,
So
that's
my enough.
You know what? First of all, thank you genuinely for your service, and such a great clarification and a great point, because I'm sure I say that too, like just falling into the crutch. They gave their lives. They gave their lives. And you're absolutely right. Their lives were ripped away from them and their family, and they didn't give anything. Like it's really good. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. It's pretty good, right? I mean, sometimes when you get in these sort of like language disputes, sometimes it's just kind of minor stuff, right? I think that's very interesting. Like sometimes you just what you did was you sacrificed, but you sacrificed by serving. Using that term and those sorts of terms makes sort of the death in combat feel like a gift, like a noble scenario. And it's not. Like the enemy killed you.
Well, I mean, it's noble to put yourself in that position to where your life can be taken from you, and to volunteer to do that. I think
for sure
that's the important part of when people say, and I get where Jim's saying, and I appreciate his perspective, and obviously, not being a veteran, I'll defer to him 100%.
Right. Yeah.
And, and I appreciate the fact that he said, I know that it's well-intentioned, because I think that's what people are trying to say, right? Is the idea that, you put yourself, you volunteered, we don't have, a draft at this point. You volunteered to put yourself in a position to go and protect the people of this country. And in so doing, your life was taken from you. That's in a long view, a giving of your life. So,
and you are,
but I appreciate that he would want that clarification.
Yeah,
100%.
I get it. I think like we all have the choice of the way we want to say something. And
Sure.
I'm going to think about that in the future.
100%.
Texter says, all veterans were willing to die for their country, which I think is where that comes from.
And I'm sure they'd all prefer not to, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of the point, right? Like, I do agree with Jim that there's this sort of romanticizing of it, which of course, like we always do that after.
Sure.
It's just like, if you're a terrible person in death, you become a little less terrible usually. If you're a good person, sometimes you become like an angel. And none of that's necessarily true. But
it's very common when somebody loses their lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Texters at 651-461-9226. John and Egan. I'm sick of cotton trees.
Oh, it's going on right now.
Pain in the neck for his AC.
Oh, for sure.
The cotton, it looked like it was snowing the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Has it mostly been taken care of? Are we still seeing it as much, or is it?
I mean, I've seen videos in the last 3 days. So,
which is more annoying, the cottonwood, like the little puffs, or the helicopter
seeds?
Because I
hate to split the difference. I'll put it that way.
We have a number of maple trees in the backyard, and then for the first month of most of May, once the weather turns and the grass greens up, and then I get about 1,500 mini maple trees in all of my landscape beds. That one leaf that pops up.
We have trees that line the parking lot of my apartment building, and you can see obviously it's Seedapalooza right now. So I would try to park my vehicle, there's parking spots on the sides that would park under those trees, which can be very useful at times for shade purposes.
Yeah.
But this is not a good time of the year to do that. So I try to park, but then we had the, huge wind the other week.
Oh,
and that just literally blew everything off the trees out into the parking lot and on top of my car anyway. So
very annoying.
Very annoying.
651-461-9226. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, in Sauk Rapids, I always love to hear what you've had enough of. What is it? What is it this week?
I have had enough of people complaining about what precious little warm weather we got.
Oh,
if you don't like it, stay in the house, or better yet, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Go to Walmart, grab one of their electric shopping carts, park it next to a freezer, pour a 5-pound bag of ice cubes down the back of your neck, and then alternately turn your cart while you're sticking either hand underneath a pile of frozen turkeys.
Yeah, that'll solve the issue, I would think.
Sounds pretty pleasant these days.
Yeah. Do you think the people complaining about it being too hot are the same people who complain about it being too cold, or do you think people pick a side and they're like, I'm going to be the complainer when it's too hot, and other people are the complainer that it's too cold?
I think they just complain about everything. They like to complain.
I'm pretty rich for you to say this, Jeff, though, right? Thanks, Jeff. 651-461-9226. It's too hot, Jeff.
I want to have it known that I'm consistent on this issue. I would much rather have it be way too stinking cold than way too stinking hot, because as we're learning afresh this week, when it's really, really cold, you can pile on layers and you can figure out ways to make it, workable. When it's this stinking hot, there ain't anything, because there's only so much you can take off, as Jason found out today mowing the lawn.
No.
There's just only so much you can do, and it's just hot. It's just hot. It's much easier to deal with cold, I think, than it is to deal with heat. And I will die on that hill.
I feel like that's a very common Minnesota take, right? That you can only take off so much clothes. I would encourage everybody to put it to the test. Do you really know?
Again, not in blame.
Do you know? Maybe you could take off more clothes. We got a texter who's had enough of me not fully pronouncing words. Yeah, this person has texted in before about this issue.
It's part of enough. They get to take the shot if they want to take the shot.
That's fine. Stop dropping the end of words. I will say, I try to talk like a normal person, and so I probably do not as overly enunciating as I should.
Like a theater.
I will also say that about 5 years ago, I chipped a tooth. And I know you're thinking, huh? What does this have to do with anything?
Hey, Jason, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, thank you for asking. When I chipped my tooth 5 years ago, it affected the way I enunciate. It changed my S's.
Really?
There's a little bit of a
a little whistle on the old S now?
A little whistle.
Yeah.
It's not as good as I want it to sound. But for 320 texter, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it. Texter says, my wife is an equal opportunity complainer about the temp. Yeah, I think most people are complaining about everything. weather related. So they know when they complain about it being too cold that it's going to be warm. And they know they're probably going to go to the well on complaining about the warmth too. Laura, you're at 651-461-9226. And Laura, just to give you a little extra confidence before you share what you've had enough of, Dan on the note that I see here said that you got a good one. So how about that? So lay it on us. What have you had enough of?
I am tired of people spitting out their gum no matter what, in the car, on the road, sidewalks, parking lots, because I just stepped in it when I went to fuel my bus.
Oh, no.
Tired of gum.
Why do people, the gum does not degrade, right? What happened to people believing that when you swallow a piece of gum, it's going to sit in your stomach for 30 years? Why do you think it's all right to spit it out on the street?
I don't know. It's like, no. I'm a school bus driver, so I'm picking it off the floor, and in this heat, it's just gooey mess.
Laura, I spent a year as a speech and debate coach, and I had to ride on school buses again as a grown man. And first of all, like, shout out to you, because I don't know that my back could handle repeated years, day after day of doing it. Enough Saturday mornings on those buses for me. But I was continually surprised by how often, like, I put my hand on the back of the seat or a little bit on the bottom of the seat, and I'd get a handful of Hubba Bubba.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. It is just, I don't know. Come on, kiddos. Come on, adults.
Yeah.
Let's put the gum in the garbage.
Very good. Laura, thank you. Thanks for listening, and thanks for driving bus.
You think they still make Hubba Bubba, by the way?
I don't know. It just felt like the funny gum to say. Bazooka was the other one I was going to go with. What have you had enough of? We'll let Dan get his enough off his chest when we come back. 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Maybe you have had enough of the stress of being on the open market, trying to sell a home. It's Jason here for my friend Chris Lindahl and Chris Lindahl Real Estate Group. Chris is a great guy, and he's a busy guy right now because more and more Minnesotans are saying yes to the guaranteed cash offer and saying yes to that big red check. You may have noticed that the billboards show a lot more happy families with Chris and the big red check. And I asked Chris, I'm like, what's going on? Like, I mean, I like the arms out real estate bit. Chris said, people's lives are being changed by the fact that they don't have to deal with open houses. They don't have to deal with the uncertainty of interest rates. We just saw this week, again, mortgage rates going up. And it's just making selling a house a real pain in the butt. Doesn't have to be. Guaranteed cash offer may work for you. And at the least, you should check it out. At chrislindahl.com, you can get a free smart seller guide. That guide will give you some insight. Should you list on the open market? Certain neighborhoods you probably should, but a lot of us are better off to just take the money and be done with it. Get that big red check. Get to chrislindahl.com today. Terms and conditions may apply.
Call in.
I appreciate that you guys allow liberals and conservatives to call into your show.
Shape the conversation.
I have some advice for everyone.
Be heard.
I think everybody should be afforded due process.
You got a take?
I completely agree.
Yeah, I can buy into that, I guess.
Don't just listen. Come on, jump in.
That would take a hard pass, but thank you.
Thanking you guys for bringing these conversations.
Okay, so.
Your voice matters here.
Well,
News Talk 830 WCCO.
How do airplanes fly? What's in this box? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Learn how to store your gun securely and make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Celebrate America's 250th with our limited edition O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. 2 for $8 at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
Welcome to Radio Rental. The scariest stories you've ever heard in your life. All told by real people. And off we go.
This wasn't a human being that I saw. There's something here in this house, something not of this world.
There was a woman moving through the hall. I stepped back and I was completely alone.
Radio Rental is available now. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs, lindisconstruction.com. Westbound 394, Slows Plymouth Road, heading out into Wayzata. If you're going to be traveling 35 northbound, got some slowing as you move between Highway 13 and downtown St. Paul. 610 Slows as you make way both directions, essentially between Broadway and 252. Right in your home with energy-efficient Infinity from Marvin Windows. Built for lasting beauty, durability, and comfort. Go to lindisconstruction.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
It's hot. JTR Roofing bringing us the weather forecast. Hot today, hot tomorrow, hot all weekend. Tonight, 61 is the low. Tomorrow, 84. Friday, 88. We'll be in the 80s. No rain all weekend. It's 88 on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Enough! Andrew, who's watching our video stream on YouTube, says, enough of my neighbors leaving their trash cans out all week. They use their garage as a den. I'm guessing raccoons they use their garage instead of having their cans in the garage. I do like the garage as like a like screened in, like garage beers are underrated, I think. But yeah, you can't leave your trash cans out all week.
Not good.
It's against the HOA in my neighborhood. They'll come for you. Jason, I've had enough of myself, so I'm getting together with friends tonight. After a couple of hours, I will have had enough of them, but I will have escaped myself.
A couple of hours.
Yeah, that's good. Enough of bunt cakes. It's not a cake, it's an afterthought. It shows you can't bake anything but the most basic, boring desserts. Now, my guy, Andrew, made like a brown butter, bourbon, pistachio bunt cake for Alyssa's birthday. It was delicious.
Sounds delightful.
Dan, you've had enough of something.
I have had enough of people going after the NASA moon program. Now, look, I understand this is a lot of money.
Who's going after?
You want to know who it is? I'll tell you who it is. Our friend, my friend and yours, one Steve Thompson, tweeted out earlier today, the moon-based nonsense being promoted by NASA is crazy. Our country is broke and we're spending money on that. By the way, I'm a big fan of space flight and exploration, which I know he is, which is why it shocked me that he would come to this conclusion.
Interesting.
Look, this seems like a lot of money that NASA is spending on this thing. I get that. But that's because you're comparing it to your own daily life where you don't spend billions of dollars on things. That's not because if you compare it to the federal budget where we spend multiple times that amount bombing Iran right now, just bombing Iran. Forget about the rest of the military budget. Just bombing Iran is costing us multiple
is the
times.
moon developing a nuke, Dad?
We're going to put nuclear power on it. How cool is that?
That's cool.
And we're talking about using some weapons-grade plutonium to help, start up some nuclear power stuff, which I'm actually for. I'd rather use nuclear power to help people than to bomb people. That's just me. But quit bagging on NASA and the moon. This is a good thing for humanity. This is a good thing for science. This is a good thing for the United States of America. Quit bagging on NASA. The moon base is a great idea, and maybe you won't appreciate it, but your kids will one day.
All right.
I've had enough.
I get it. I mean, what are we looking at? They're spending like $20 billion a year or something like that.
I don't know.
It's not like,
again, relative.
It's kind of like Chad Hartman.
That's a lot of money. Well, that is Chad
Hartman
money. That's Hartman money for sure. It's a lot of money. But when you compare it to the rest of the federal budget, it's a drop in the bucket. If you think that humanity is going to be better off if we don't do this because we can use that money to feed people and house people, that's not where it's going. I'm sorry.
You're right about that. Jason, I've had enough of my coworkers faking sick days. Twice the work, same pay. I literally sweated through my shirt today, and I can't take it off at work. That does suck, doesn't it?
Fortunately, we have nobody that does that here.
Mm-hmm. I have had enough of nobody buying me that Cartier Santos from Continental Diamond. Tell you that much. Continental Diamond time check is $5.57. How's that for a smooth segue? Do I win a free watch for that quality work? Twins baseball is next.
Chad back here with you on CCO. I want to talk insurance and the group I have trusted for 30 years. Not just me, my father, my boys. We have been with Amber Scholl and Associates the